Another rare tornado phenomenon tears through the eastern U.S., a super outbreak.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Did you see that?
In the small community of Pleasant Grove, Alabama, machine shop worker Ray Watson listens to the news. They're calling for bad weather.
The day of the storm, everybody closed early because they were expecting bad weather that day. Most businesses closed at least by 3 o'clock. I kind of thought everybody was going home too early and overreacting. My wife was preparing dinner. I started watching a live feed video of the tornado going through downtown Tuscaloosa, which is just devastating. Tuscaloosa is probably 30 miles. Little did I know, in about 30 minutes, it was going to go through my backyard.
The Tuscaloosa tornado is just part of a rare tornado super outbreak.
An outbreak is when you've got a whole bunch of tornadoes occurring in a time period, usually the day, and over a certain location. That can be maybe 6 to 10 to 20 tornadoes.
There it is. Oh, it's a doozy.
The difference between an outbreak and a super outbreak is that instead of having the necessary ingredients for tornadoes in one location, one region, it's extended over a large area. And basically every thunderstorm that goes up ends up becoming a supercell and producing a tornado.
There it is. Good Lord.
As Ray watches the news, he has no idea that the tornado heading their way is just one of an astonishing 15 tornadoes rated EF4 or higher that will touch down across Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama that day.
As I was watching it, it started veering only about a mile and a half from my house. So I got my wife and I said, we got to go to the basement. Once we got in the basement, all the damage started hitting the house, and the house started shaking, and the ground started shaking. I pushed my wife into a front room that we had underneath our front porch. The roof to that room was a concrete slab. When we stepped in there, I said, the house just left. The sound of that house being ripped off the foundation, I mean, it's just like ripping a board in half. And it was pulling water lines into it, it was pulling the gas lines, things like that. And it was just ripping everything apart.
They're lucky to have made it downstairs. Even the best tornado warning systems leave little time to prepare.
Before the arrival of Doppler radar in the 1980s, it was really hard to get lead time on tornadoes. You're relying on someone to see the tornado, so obviously by that time the tornado is already occurring.
With a threat for hail to the size of quarters.
Today, computer models take in all kinds of data. There's millions of points of data from satellites, from weather balloons, from surface stations, all coming in and being initialized so that the model can produce a forecast. With Doppler radar, you can actually see the rotation in the supercell thunderstorm that precedes the development of the tornado. Over the last decade, computer models have gotten really good at predicting the environment in which tornadoes can develop. What it's not good at yet is the exact time, the exact location. Today, the target is 10 to 20 minutes of lead time on a tornado warning.
As Ray and his wife's house is ripped from its foundation, a supporting wall holding the concrete slab above them is torn away, and Ray's life is changed forever.
I actually blacked out for a few seconds. I woke up, I saw a concrete slab on my leg. I knew by looking at my leg, I wasn't going to be able to be saved.
Pinned beneath the concrete slab, Ray is desperate for help and to get his wife to safety.
My wife, she didn't want to leave me under there by myself. I said, well, you need to get out of here so you don't get hurt. So she did reluctantly. I was trapped, I was pressed against the concrete. Water lines had ruptured and there's water flowing through there, and I could smell natural gas, and I just thought this is it.
But then, a small miracle. A volunteer firefighter and a nurse come to Ray's rescue.
Just pure luck. The two most perfect people to come help me after that storm. He brought his little fireman axe and he put it at the foot of the slab while he got volunteers to pick it up so that I could be removed. And a guy just reached in there and grabbed my belt. He said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to reach in there, grab you by the belt and get it over. He said, I'll do the pulling and you do the screaming. And that's about how it went, too. And as soon as he did, the nurse, she walked over and they had done scared up rope and a stick and all this and made a tourniquet.
Ray is placed in an induced coma and undergoes several surgeries. As he predicted, he loses his leg. But April 27th was just one day of a longer super outbreak. Between April 25th and 28th, an unprecedented 362 tornadoes broke out from Texas to New York. The largest super outbreak in history. 321 people are killed, 316 on April 27th alone.
It was by us in just seconds, 10 seconds, and it just leveled houses. There were 6 deaths within blocks of my house. We rebuilt our house. We've got a storm room built in the basement. I take my cautions, but they're just a way of life down here. I've just been lucky.
Surprisingly, the super outbreak of 2011 extended all the way into Canada. But it's not the only incidence of a tornado in the Great North. And some researchers are trying to answer the question, are tornadoes spreading? Tornadoes, firenadoes, super outbreaks. While these dangerous weather events are generally known to occur in hot spots in the dusty south, in recent years, the number of tornadoes detected in Canada has been on the rise. But what's behind the worrying trend?
It was a beautiful day. It was hot, humid, and we decided to sit on the front deck for a while, and we were having a beer. And it kind of started to rain some big drops.
There were massive drops, like they were huge. And I had said to Les, I've never seen anything like that before. Like they're huge, and it didn't even seem that cloudy out.
The rain clears, but while all else seems normal, something peculiar happens.
Our dog was going crazy, and we thought, why is he acting like that? It's quite clear outside. There's maybe a small cloud, but nothing that should make him so panicky. Lo and behold, he had a reason why he was in such a panic.
With warm, moist air from the south and dry, cooler air from the Rockies, Manitoba is vulnerable to tornadoes.
The prairies in Canada are an extension of the plains in the US, and the storms in the summertime, they move from the plains in the US up into the prairies in Canada, and that's an extension of that tornado alley.
Little did Lynn and Les know that the humid day they were enjoying would bring disaster. Before they know it, a tornado is bearing down on them.
I've never ever seen a tornado before or been in one, so okay, just go to the basement, then it'll just go right over top of us or by us, and nothing will happen. We had a sectional couch with the mattress, the bed out, and he grabbed the mattress and, smart thinking for him, put it over top of us, and he was trying to get also our little dog Teak underneath the mattress.
Then the tornado hit.
I panicked. It just seemed to happen so fast. It was like 10 engines of a train, or the train going by. Like, it was enormous. The sound was so loud.
I used every force of energy that I could to stay down there and strain. Don't know how long it lasted. I looked up and I could see sunny sky. I said, oh, the house is gone.
In just a few violent minutes, this record-setting tornado caused widespread destruction.
The Eli tornado is Canada's one and only tornado rated at the 5 level. It was one of only 9 tornadoes between 1999 and 2011 in North America that reached the EF5 level, with winds reaching 315 plus kilometers per hour. Very rare in Canada to get a tornado of that strength. In the last 20 years, we've only seen one EF4 and one EF5 in Canada.
As Les and Lynn crawl out from their basement, they see firsthand the destruction the rare EF5 Canadian tornado has caused.
It looked like a war zone outside. It looked like a bomb went off.
I was gonna get in my car. There was no garage, no cars. It was just glass, and the trees were destroyed, houses were destroyed.
The whole house was completely gone, stuff in the basement. And they always tell you that tornadoes don't suck below ground, but this one was different. It decided to do that.
But as happened with the Joplin tornado photographs, unusual things appear from amongst the debris.
This was my dress that I got married in 1976 to this handsome dude here. After our wedding, I had it dry cleaned, boxed it up, put it in the closet. The tornado took my dress. And the next day, my husband said, I'm going for a walk into the field, which is across from where our house was, and I'm going to go check and see what I can find. And I wish I would have videotaped him, but here he come across the field holding my dress. We built in the same spot. It's changed my life in a lot of ways, and both of our lives, but also to be thankful for the things that we have. You know, we're happy to be alive, that's all I'm saying.